Hey everybody, it's Ashley from Lovely Commotion. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Today I wanted to talk all about quick data collection. So a couple of years ago, I was planning out a small group, whole group. Small group, whole group. That makes no sense. I was planning out a whole group activity, and we were doing swat a letter. So like it's when I would lay down alphabet letters on the carpet, and we would take turns with a fly swatter, calling out a letter and swatting that letter with a fly swatter. It's a pretty fun one, working on letter recognition. So I was getting ready and preparing that, and considering I only had 8 students at the time, I knew that I did not want to use all 26 letters of the alphabet. So it got me thinking, like, which ones do I choose? Do I just like randomly pick some letters? In the beginning of the year, I would definitely pick the letters that started with their names, but we were farther into the year. They had already got those down. So it got me thinking, like, as a whole, which letters were my students needing help with, like on an average almost. And so that like sounded like a data nightmare. Like I kind of sat down to like tally mark, like this many kids didn't know A and this many kids didn't know B, and it was a lot, right? And data is definitely not my favorite thing. And so I did find a way to fix this, and I'm glad that I did it because it does allow me to get a big picture for whole group. And I also added in, like, not only can I find out letters, I can find out which numerals they're struggling with as a whole and which colors and shapes. So my curiosity was piqued. I had to figure out a way to do this, and so I just brought in my old friend Adobe Reader, and we figured out a way to do this. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it's still not a little bit time consuming, because it is. Like, you still are going to enter in the ones that your children are struggling with, but it's faster than the way that I was doing it, trying to tally mark with all the letters, and it was totally not working. But it has helped me. So like after I do my first set of data collection, I can go in and put this in, and I can see, okay, we're going to definitely work on this letter, or we're going to definitely work on rectangle versus square, because that's something that they were getting tripped up on. And so I can use that to focus and hone in on my whole group time. So I wanted to show you what I created, and also I worked pretty hard on it, and so I wanted to share it with somebody else, not just me. Like, I want somebody else to be able to use it if they want to. So there is a link in the description of this video that has the link to it. And so I just wanted to show you kind of how to use it, because a lot of times when we are working with Adobe Reader, it doesn't always open up that way. The file doesn't. So I want to show you how to do that, because that's been kind of a sticking point for some people, and I want you to be able to use this. So let me share with you my screen here. Oh. Let's just do, okay, now you can see it. Okay, so this was right after I basically just came in and put my email in, and this popped up. So I haven't technically downloaded it yet. So let me show you. You're going to come up in this down arrow up here at the top. You're going to click on that, and it should go ahead and download it for you, and it'll pop up this screen where it wants to ask you like what you want to save it as and where you want to save it. So I think I'll just put it, for simplicity's sake, on my desktop and name it Data 2020. Or, oh, that's not a, okay. So then I'm going to save it. So you don't want to try when it's already in this, open in this, oh, there it goes for me, already open in the browser. Don't try to edit it, because it just does not work as seamlessly. It will work, but certainly not as easily, and you may have issues with it. So then you're going to come to your files, and you notice mine already went ahead and opened up for me. but I've got it on my desktop somewhere up here. And so I'm going to right click it, open with, and we're going to choose Adobe Acrobat Reader. You most likely won't have this black version unless you pay for it, but this red version is free. So if you don't already have it, that's something you can download for free. And so it should be opening it up for us. And so here it is in actual Adobe, because that's where it's easiest for you to go ahead and edit it. I'm not sure what it's wanting me to do here. It wants me to do stuff, and I don't ever want to do that right now. Okay, it doesn't want to X out for me. So let's look at if it's gonna let me do it. I'm not sure why it's doing that. So let me hop over and show you how else to do it over here. Okay. So you're going to scroll on down, and here just kind of shows you the data tables, and then it gives you a how to use. So you can type your student's name on the left side of the table, and then they should duplicate for you on other pages. And for each skill set, you want to place a number 1 in the box if a student cannot yet identify or name or whatever you're looking for, right? So you are putting a 1 in the box if a student cannot yet identify it. Then you're going to continue this process for all students, and do not add anything to the box if the student can already identify that color, shape, letter, or number. So, and then the form automatically gives you totals, so you can see like the higher the number on one of these skills, then the more practice they need as a whole. Okay, and this information, basically, it just tells you it's going to help you be more intentional when planning your whole group lessons, and maybe even creating your own small groups, right? Because you're seeing like on paper in comparison of, oh, look, these 3 students would make a great small group because they're all needing this skill. So that is the direction. So like on this page, I'm going to come in this blue box, and I'm going to type a student name. So then I'm going to, if she could not recognize the color, let's say brown, I'm going to put a 1 there. Oh, it's 1. There we go. So brown and black gave her trouble. So everything else she got correct. So then I'm going to enter my next student. Just pulling these out of my head here. He was struggling with purple, blue, brown, and black. And then maybe Micah is really struggling with colors and only knows the primary ones, maybe, let's say. So he only knows red, yellow, and blue right now. And so you're going to keep going down and filling this out just like that. So when you're scrolling down to the bottom, you see a 3 and a 3. So that tells me that there are 3 students out of however many, you have in your class that need help with that color. So I could look at that and go, okay, I'm going to pull those 3 colors, and I'm going to pull those 3 students, and we're going to do a small group all about the color black, and like sorting black things and comparing black to other colors and going on a color hunt, So that's one way to use it, but also you can say, okay, when we do our next whole group activity, I'm going to bring in black for sure and brown, because that's something that we want to pinpoint. So that's the idea behind it. And so you'll go through each one, and you can do the same for the shapes. There's also, and you'll notice that their names are already there. And then you can go down and do the same for the numerals. And this goes up to 10. And you can do the same for letters. And this one I already had some things plugged in. So that's, if you, yours may very well have some numbers already plugged in. It's just like an example. You can just delete those if you don't need them. And then again, down here, it's going to tell you which one. So there's obviously 2 sheets of letters because there's not enough there for everybody. So that's pretty much how you use this form. And like, let's go back up to colors. So just remember to place a 1 in the spot if the student does not know that color, shape, number, or letter. And then looking at the totals, the higher the number is the higher amount of students that need help with that. And so this really can kind of give you great ideas for small groups and great ideas for when you're like trying to decide which numerals do I really want to focus on in this whole group activity I have. Now you'll know. And then you can come back in after you do your maybe second or third set of assessments, however many you do in a year, and you can come up and update this, and then hopefully you start seeing these numbers going down, right? Because that means that they're recognizing more of them or naming them. And you can decide too, are you going to first focus, like if you're a 3 teacher, you maybe want to focus first on them recognizing it, and so you would base it off that. You could also base it off of, can they name it? So you can decide, do you want to do recognizing of the colors where you say, find the letter red, or find the color red, and they pull the red over? Or do you want to say, tell me what color this is and point to it? So that's the difference between recognizing and naming. So SIP colors, numbers, same, shapes, and letters, you can do recognizing and naming for both. So I've kind of left this open for you to decide which one you want to focus on for your students. Because sometimes if we're like, especially with the letters, they're going to be able to recognize and pick it out of several options before they're going to be able to recall the actual name of it. So that may be something you work on first, and then maybe you could put in there who can name them and things like that. Because I find at the beginning of my year, I've got a lot of kiddos that have never been to school, that there are a lot of numerals that they do not know. And so we start with recognizing them. And then there's a ton of letters that they do not know. And that's okay. That's great. That's where they are. I want to meet them where they're at. And so usually we work on recognizing first with the numbers and letters. Most of the time I have my kiddos coming in to me knowing colors, mostly shapes as well. But I'm hoping this can be helpful to you because I created it and I would love other people to be able to use it too. So leave me a comment if this is something that you think will be helpful to you. Try it out. See how it works. I just know that I feel a lot better about like having my thumb on the data and kind of knowing that I'm not just randomly picking some letters and hoping they are the ones that we really should be focusing on. And so that kind of just closed up that thought of not knowing, So go ahead and grab that. It is in the description, and please open it in Adobe Reader, which is free, because if you don't, I don't want to tell you it'll work as planned. It might work, but it also may not, because that's just kind of how that works. So, and also you can print these out, take them to school with you, have them next to you, so you can start making your small groups or doing your planning. So I'm hoping they're helpful to you. And if you have a teacher friend that you think that this would be helpful with too, please share the link with them as well. So thanks for dropping by today and checking out this quick data collector. That's what I've been calling it because I don't really have a better name for it. But hopefully be able to quickly gather the data that you need to make decisions in your classroom. Thanks guys for joining me. Have a great day.